Hey, welcome to Dow Stock Talk, where I talk about topics relating to investing and finance, but more specifically the stock market. In this video, I'll be going over how to read stock charts. But before we get started, make sure you smash the like button because it helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps YouTube know that this is quality content and help my videos reach a broader audience. Okay, in this video is for beginners. So by the time you watch the end of this video, you will know how to read a stock chart. So I'll break this video up into three parts. One will be the line, one will be the bar, and one will be the candlestick. So in the descriptions below, I'll provide timestamps so you can skip around as you like. And by the way, the two platforms that I'll be going over of Yahoo Finance and TradingView, I'll drop them in the link below. So if you want to follow, you can. Okay, so we're on Yahoo Finance. This is Apple price action. So the first thing we want to go to is we're going to go to the charts, click charts, and then we're just going to go to full size so we can see the big picture. Okay, so before, if you're completely new, so we're completely new. So the first thing when looking at, before you look at anything, just know that this chart, the stock chart, tracks the price fluctuation over a period of time. So for example, on this side, the right hand side, these are the prices, and the line just shows, the increase and decrease in stock price. So first things first, I think it's important for you to know the integral, which means the time frame, whether you're looking at every minute, every hour, every day. So that is really important because with the line graph, it shows the closing price, right? So let's switch it to minute, right? So every minute, I'm just zooming in. So for 334, the closing price was 114.93. So for next one, 335, the closing price was 114.98. So that's why it's really important. But then if I switch it to the day, now it's showing me the closing price, right? Remember line graph, closing price, 813, right? Let me see closing price. 814, $114.91, right? So when I go to the next one, closing price 817, $116.61. So that's just the general thing for the line graph. So the next thing we have is the volume, and that's what these bars shows. So all you have to really pay attention to, just know that the longer the bar is, the more trades that's occurring. So typically speaking, when you're looking at these, you just know that the longer the bar is, the more amount of trading that's occurs. So if the stock prices end up going up, more people are buying, and if the stock price is going down, more is selling. Now, the actual colors, I wouldn't necessarily pay attention to it too much because it can kind of confuse you. But if you want me to explain the colors, I'll do it in the candlestick. But for beginners purposes, you just need to know that higher volume for a trader's perspective normally gives the traders a better indication for when they want to buy and sell. Because with low traffic volume, that means that there's not a lot of people actually buying and selling. So it's kind of hard to know which way the market is end up going to go. Okay, so this one was the line chart. And by the way, the next thing is we're going to go over is bar chart. So we're going to go to color bar chart. So now we see it's a little bit, more comprehensive. So from the previous one before, that was more so from an investor perspective. All we kind of really know is the closing price. We're looking at it more for a longer term. But if you are a trader, you're looking at price action. So the closing price is not enough information. So if you see over here, this box, right? You see these boxes: open, high, low, close, volume, the change. This right here, these bars, is a visual image. So these numbers, if you had to turn to a visual image, you would have this one. Now, this one, a lot of people may not care about too much, so I'm just going over this for educational purposes. But from my experience, most traders just go with the candlestick. So if this one looks a little confusing, I wouldn't worry about this. But for educational purposes, I'm going to just go over it anyway. So first things first, we want to know the integral. So that means that we're looking at it day by day, right? So we know that. So we're looking at one day, year to date. So year to date means just the beginning of the year and to the time period we are at now. So, okay, we got that squared away. So next thing I will look at is the colors. So green means the stock price went up. Red means the stock price goes down. All right, so we got that squared away. So now what we're going to do is we're looking at for September 1st, 2020. Now let's zoom in a little bit more. So as you can see, you see this line coming out this way and the line coming out this way, right? So first things first, the day. We're looking at it day by day, right? And then we're looking at the color. So the color is green. That means the stock went up. So this bar coming out. So if you look at the opening price, they provided at the chart, it's at 132.76, and then the closing price, it's $134.18. So we got that way. So okay, now the next one, now if it's red, you know the stock price went down. So the opening would be the top of this bar, which would be 137.59, and then we know it went down, so the closing price would be $131.40. $131.40. Okay, so we went over that part, but what about this line that's beneath this, right? What does that mean? Well, we're going to go into that. So let's just I'm just going to zoom in a little closer. So this line above this shows the highest price the price that happened within that time period in which we're looking at the day, right? So the highest for that day was $128.84. The lowest was $120.50. So that is also that's pretty much the main idea. And I just want to go to TradingView. So I picked Yahoo because it's a much crisper look. So if you were a beginner, you might not get overwhelmed. But if you were let me actually switch this back to where we was. Right. So now this is in TradingView. So if you were actually probably trading, you would more so use a platform like this because it has a lot more detail and information. So if you wanted to, let me slow down a little bit. Sometimes when I see these charts, I can get a little excited. And if you are a beginner, I definitely should slow down the pace so you know what's going on. So this one was Apple, right? So what we're going to do is right now they're doing it minute by minute. So, okay, so we got clicking the day up the top. See, minute, that's it. So it's showing me the price action every minute. So what I'm going to zoom in, right? So at 12, let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's use this one. All right. So in this particular one, it gives you the ability to see the price action throughout the line. Well, Yahoo, they didn't really, let's go back. They didn't let you can't really see the prices within that time period. You can eyeball it, but this is more like an advanced one. So if you probably really was actually trading, you would more so use this because it gives you a lot more details. But I just wanted to show you different platforms that you could end up using. So the last but not least, and this one is everyone's favorite, well, if you're a trader anyway, is the candlestick. So this one is a very popular one. A lot of the, if you notice on the pillows and all that for the decoration purposes, these are the ones that a lot of traders end up using. So once again, these candlesticks is a visual image of, so these, don't you see these numbers? Open, high, low, close, volume. So this is the candlestick is a visual image of that. So it's telling you the price action in that interval of time. So, okay, now the first thing, let's just go step by step, look at the integral. So the interval. So at this one, we have it set on, if we looked at the minutes, it will be showing us per minute, right? If we look at the hour, it's going to show us per hour, right? Okay. And if we look at the day, it's going to show us per day. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, just like the bar chart, we look at, okay, the color. So when we see green, right, we know that the stock price went up. When you see red, you know the stock price went down. So let's zoom in to get be able to see it a little closer, right? So with this, I'll call it a bar. Because the stock price, so when you see this bar, the bottom of the, or you can call it the bottom of the rectangle, they refer to, well, this whole rectangle, they refer to it as the body. I mean, I probably should use proper term, but they refer to it as the body, right? So the body, since it's green, right, and the stock price goes up, the bottom right here, the opening, would be, you can check over here to get the exact numbers, is 127.58, and then the closing, which would be the top of the body, which would be $129.04. So we got that. So now you might be thinking of, okay, what are these lines? So these lines refer to as the wick. So they show the high and the low. So as this one, if you go to the top, right, it's going to show you the highest price. Now you can eyeball it, but they always have the chart on the side. So the high was $131. Once again, I'll have an arrow to point to the high. And the low, which is at this, let's look at the icon. It's $126 for the low. Now that's pretty, I just went over the basics. Oh, and actually let me go over this one last part, which actually this one, the same as always, the volume. Normally if you are a trader, when you see, you like to see that bar as long as possible because it definitely gives you a indication of where it's going. So typically if you're, was looking to find a signal, you want to find high traffic volume to give you a strong signal whether to buy or sell. And then you have supports and resistors. And by the way, in the next video, I'll go over the support and resistors. But I just wanted to go over a very fundamental way of what the stuff means on the stock chart and how you end up reading it. Make sure you let me know in the comments below which type of stock chart do you use. And I remember earlier on I was going to tell you about the colors, about the volume, just in case you were interested in it. Now, a lot of times you notice they will match up, well, not sometimes you notice. The reason why I said not to pay attention to the colors too much is because, like you said, for this one, you see it is red, but if you see the volume is green. That's why I normally don't pay attention to the volume, because the only thing the volume tells you is the amount of trades that happens. So this could, if you kind of pay attention to the color, if you're a beginner, it can really confuse you. But if you're just curious, it pretty much goes by the previous one. And so if you look at it, they going by the previous one. So since it opened higher from the previous day, that's why this is end up being green. And if you see here, just know for the volume, if it opened higher than the previous time period, it's going to be green. If it opened lower than the previous time, it's going to be red. But you don't really have to worry about that. The colors is more so the colors for the price action, which you need to worry about. The volume, you just want to know, that The longer lines means that, or the longer bars mean that there were a lot more people trading. And you can just easily tell by the price action which way it was going. And that concludes this video. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what type of stocks charts do you use. And if you didn't already, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel.